Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is a closer look video. And in this segment, we take a closer look at various companies which are involved in the genomic sector in order to get a better understanding of them. And also sometimes we'd be doing the quarterly earnings report analysis in the closer look sections. So today's topic is going to be Oxford Nanopore. It's a revolutionary genome sequencing company. They use a very unique technology to do the genome sequencing. So let's get started with the review of Oxford Nanopore. Well, let's start our review of Oxford Nanopore technologies. I would like to start with their tagline. Their tagline reads, "Our goal is to enable the analysis of anything by anyone, anywhere." This tagline seems so simplistic and brief, but what it actually means for Oxford Nanopore Technologies is that not only are they talking about scalability in terms of the size of the product, small, portable, easily handleable to big, robust, sturdy, to be put on a desktop or in a special installation. So that's the range in terms of portability. But they're also talking about in terms of the throughput capacity as well as price points. So they have price points as low as $1,000. It goes all the way high up to around $50,000. So that's the price range that they have got. So it's truly they are trying to live up to their tagline. That's how I would characterize the company. And if we were to ask a question, what are nanopores? Nanopores are nanoscale holes embedded into high-tech electronics to perform comprehensive molecular analysis. That's how the company defines it. And the first products that they created to focus on nucleotides and help sequence DNA and RNA, but the technology can be used to analyze other type of molecules such as proteins. So in DNA and RNA, you got nucleotides. Nucleotides are small molecules, and the size of the nanopores are just enough so that it can trap these individual nucleotides, and then they can perform the process on it. And the same technology can be used even to handle other molecules like proteins. And therefore, they have just scratched the surface of the application so far with DNA sequencing and reading. There are many other things that they could do as they go ahead. So that's the way I look at it from an investor perspective. So there is untapped potential still there, and their current products are proof of concept for that. So having said that, their products feature scalability, portability, ultra-high throughput, as well as real-time data delivery of both short and ultra-long fragments of DNA or RNA. And as I mentioned, they can then diversify into proteins also. That could be a separate line of business altogether. And they could leverage on many of the current infrastructure and IP assets that they already developed for the DNA sequencing machines. I'll talk more about this subsequently in the video in terms of the products that they have got. Let's look at the company management. In June 1989, Professor David Deamer of UC Davis came up with the idea that a protein channel might be incorporated into a membrane of a liposome, and that the resulting channel might accommodate individual nucleotides. Nucleotides are the smallest components of DNA, and Professor Deamer thought that each nucleotide could potentially produce a specific blockade of ionic current as it passed through the channel. That's the genesis of this whole concept. Then in 1991, Professor Dan Branton visited UC Davis, and a decision was made to pursue research into the concept of nanopore sensing. And in 1992, it was agreed that Harvard would be the lead institution for intellectual property. After that, a few years passed. In 2001, Professor Hagen Bailey's lab in Oxford described a working nanopore sensor in journal Nature Nanotechnology. And then 4 years later, in 2005, Oxford Nanopore was founded as Oxford Nanolabs by Dr. Gordon Sanghera, Dr. Spike Wilcox, and Professor Hagen Bailey, currently Professor of Chemical Biology at University of Oxford. With seed funding from a company called IP Group PLC, since these foundational years, Oxford Nanopore internal multidisciplinary teams of hundreds of scientists have continued to innovate in multiple disciplines related to nanopore sensing in order to bring the only nanopore sequencing technology to the market and continue to improve on that technology. So currently they have got at least 3 products, which are the next gen products, progressing further on this technology over and above the products that they already have in the market. Now, to talk a little bit about Gordon Sanghera. So Gordon Sanghera has been CEO since the company's foundation. He brings his experience of combining biological and electronic technologies and working across all disciplines at senior level in a technology company. He previously delivered blood glucose sensing products to the market, a technology that has transformed the lives of many patients of diabetes worldwide. And now let us talk about the products themselves. So the first product, you can see here the picture of all the 3 products that they have got. The very first product, Minion, is the smallest, and it costs $1,000 and goes all the way up to the biggest product, which is on the extreme right, which is the Prometheon. And let us talk about Minion. Minion costs $1,000 and is portable and real-time device for DNA and RNA sequencing. It can generate up to 50 GB in 72 hours and is lightweight. It can also be paired with a laptop or with the MK1C device that they supply. Sample prep is simple and takes under 10 minutes. So this is at the lower end of the scalability spectrum. The next level is Prometheon, priced at $10,455, and it can take up to 48 independently addressable Prometheon flow cells and deliver lowest cost per GB of sequencing data because it's creating more data in one sitting. It enables a single sample to be processed in parallel, and that cuts down the time needed to deliver sequencing data. And that's the USP of this particular platform. Next level up is Gridiron, priced at around very close to $50,000. It's at $49,995. And this is a benchtop device designed to analyze up to 5 Minion or Flangle flow cells. It generates up to 250 GB of data. And again, this is the higher end of the spectrum of their products. Finally, the company also distributes the NVIDIA A100 Tensor Core GPU system called DGX Station A100 that allows the acceleration of nanopore baselining tasks and to decrease computing time using GPU accelerated bioinformatics tools. And apart from this, their consumables include Flangle, an adapter for Minion and Gridiron to use smaller single-use flow cells. Other consumables include Prometheon flow cells and Gridiron and Minion flow cells, as well as Voltarix with expansion packs. Also in the works is Smidgeon, which is the next generation. It's the smallest, it's supposed to be the smallest sequencer in market once it is delivered. And also the next generation Minion titled MK1D. And Plongle, which is a real-time long-read sequencing system, as well as if we were to take a look on the financial side, I would say that Oxford Nanopore looks pretty decent overall in terms of shareholder ownership, because there is a lot of institutional ownerships there, and also the founding company IP Group, founding investor IP Group also has a majority stake among the institutional investors who own up to 49% of the shares. So if you take the total share float of Oxford Nanopore, 49% is held by institutional investors. And among that 49%, the biggest shareholding is with IP Group PLC, the initial investor. They hold around 11% of the outstanding shares. Individual insiders own up to 2%, while general public owns around 11%. So the shares that are floating that you and I buy is among that 11%. The stock is quoted in the London Stock Exchange, and it also deals in the OTC via network of dealers in the USA. So over-the-counter market is a dealer network, which is a private network. So shares quoted abroad can be traded through them, and that's how you can take part in the action on Oxford Nanopore if you're going to work at it through in North America instead of being in Britain. In Britain, it's quoted on the London Stock Exchange. The company is currently trading at 268.5 pounds and has a market capital of around 2.29 billion pounds, and it has an EPS of minus 22.9, so it's still yet to make any profits. Now let us look at the share price chart. For this, I'm going to take you to my TradingView platform. So after that, we'll come back and talk about our conclusions about this company. So here we have the price chart for Oxford Nanopore Technologies. It's got ticker symbol ONT in the London Stock Exchange. And all these candles are a one-day candle out here. And if you look at this diagonal green line that I have drawn out here connecting all the lower lows, that shows a slightly bearish channel in action since 12th of May 2022. So there is a slightly positive bias for this share. And the MACD is also bearish, and the momentum is just about picking up. So it's behaving similar to the genomic shares that we see out here. Our genomic shares started moving up from around 15th of June, but the bull channel here has been formed way before that, somewhere in May, around 12th of May. So this is looking okay. I think over a period of time, it will consolidate sideways and keep moving up because this company already has got a lot of products in place. Now, I want to check how much it has fallen from its peak. So right now, the price is at 284.0. So let me draw from here to 284. So we are at 61.52% drop. So that is the drop we have, 61.52%. So that's a significant drop. And I think as time goes by, as we get out of recession and as all the risks resolve and we become more risk on, I think Oxford Nanopore should do extremely well because they already have 3 products. Their product pricing is also excellent, and the range of their scale is also pretty good, from a very small, absolutely portable piece all the way up to the desktop gridiron. So I think that this company looks good overall. And in terms of the bear channel out here, which all our genomic companies have already faced, I think they have already gone out of they already bounced out of the resistance out here. And now going forward, that will become a support. And after going out of this resistance, somewhere around 23rd May 2022, they continued to consolidate upwards. There was a little bit of a drop, and then they hit this support, went up again, and have come down again today. I'm expecting that today also this support will hold, and probably tomorrow they might bounce up again. If they do, and if they come all the way up here, then I think this will qualify to be a double bottom, which would mean that the price trend is going to change, and the price which was coming down is going to change, and we may go up again. That is my personal opinion, not a financial advice. So be alert and careful before you do any investment. Do your own analysis and convince yourself that your premises are proper for making any trades. With that said, I would like to go to the preliminary results for published on 22nd March 2022 by Oxford Nanopore. They reported a revenue of 133.7 pounds for the year 2021, and that is almost flat as compared to revenue for 2020, which was at 113.9 million. And Life Search Research Tools revenue, which is what is our interest, was 127 in 2021, almost twofold what it was in 2020 at 65.5. So that shows the quantum of the machines and hardware and consumables that they have sold so far. They had a gross profit margin of 54.8% in 2021, an improvement over 41.2% in 2020. Adjusted operating loss was 82.9 million pounds as compared to 73.1 million pounds in 2022. So their operating loss has increased. Adjusted EBITDA came in at 57.7 million as compared to 55.2 million in 2020, a very modest decrease. Loss for the year is $167.6 million pounds as compared to 61.2 million pounds in 2020. So that's a big increase of 100 million pound increase in loss for the year. This will definitely put a bit of strain on the company's balance sheet. As I mentioned earlier, their stock holding pattern is pretty solid. So they should be able to handle this mini ups and downs and continue with their business. So I think the main interest for me out here is the life science research tools revenue, which is doubling. So I'm happy about that. Of course, this company is not just life science research tools. They have got COVID testing revenue. And I think the COVID testing revenue is likely to be a temporary phenomenon, and it has to wear off. As you can see, in 2020, they had 48.3 million worth of revenue from that service, whereas in 2021 it fell down to 6.7. So therefore, I think we can focus on the life science research tools revenue, and that has increased decently. So that should be our mainstay going forward. And if I look at this, report, I can see this statement here: cash and cash equivalents and treasury deposits of pound 618.2 million as of 31st December 2021, which includes net proceeds of pound 407.1 million from the group's IPO in October 2021. They have got around $618.2 million as of 31st December 2021. So they are pretty strong in terms of their balance sheet. They have products that are already going into the market and giving them revenue, and it's only going to grow. And if we look at the growth out here for life science and research tools, I would say that they have almost grown 100%. So next year also they could have the same pace, and we would probably see around 250 million pounds worth of sales. So I think the company is in a good trajectory. I personally like this. And another thing that gives me a lot of positive vibes is the substantial increase in the user base and utilization of nanopore sequencing in life science research, with over 1,400 new accounts added in 2021, taking the total active accounts to 6,300 across all products. So if you look at the number 6,300 and 1,400, and remember this company was launched in 2005, then you can say that 1,400 new accounts is a big addition. So the growth is pretty significant, and growth in scientific impact of nanopore sequencing, with more than 1,000 papers published by the nanopore community in 2021, highlighting applications across a number of scientific research areas, including human, cancer, animal, plant, pathogen, and environmental genomics. I have some more statistics for you that I will share with you about the percentage in the industry and so on. That will come later in this video. But suffice to say that they are widespread among usage. So just one sector may not bring them down. They can always compensate from the other sector in terms of growth and penetration. And the other thing we have here is increased global headcount to over 800, including key hires in senior sales, marketing, and support leadership, consistent with the group's commitment to scale up rapidly and serve the global market for sequencing products. The way I would read this is that they are right now only in US and UK. I am thinking that this potentially talks about expanding into the EMEA region, China, and other places. So I'm really excited about what Oxford Nanopore is going to report in the next 12 months. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with the profile of this company. Let me share some more insights about the company with you. The first thing I would like to say that there are many competitors for this company. However, the affordable pricing and scalability would help them. And also, while talking about their products, I forgot to mention their services that include certification, training, and device warranty, which would provide incremental revenue streams on an ongoing basis. So as they have added 1,400 more accounts right now, that is 1,400 more accounts looking for services such as certification, training, and device warranty, and not to forget buying consumables. So all those things tend to make this a very interesting business model, like any other genome sequencing company. And they have a bigger install base this year as compared to last year, and next year is going to be much bigger. So things are only going to get better. But in terms of their user base, currently around 218 companies are using Oxford Nanopore, and this accounts to 1.7% of the medical devices market share as per a report. However, the report does not include market shares of companies such as Illumina and PACB, etc. So despite being a British company, 60% of their customers are in the USA and 16% in Britain. And that's the reason why when I see in their earnings report that they are focusing on global expansion, I am thinking that they're going to expand beyond US and Britain. And that's going to be places like Australia, India, China, Europe, Middle East, and so on. So the potential is only going to be higher. This also shows that there's a huge untapped market available for this company if they wanted to ramp up the pace of growth. In terms of end users, 31% of its end users are in higher educational institutions, 12% are biotech entities, and around 8% are in the research field. This is how these are the three big components of their user base as categories. And of course, we like to keep our videos short, so I would like to recommend that you visit their website. I have put the link for their website in the description below. And I must say that their website is amazing and has aesthetic appeal and functionality. One of the best websites I have seen lately. You would really enjoy watching it. And also recently they had a news item, I think a week ago or 3 or 4 days ago, in which it mentioned that they have sold one of their buildings for some 58 million pounds or 60 million pounds, something like that. And that money has gone into their balance sheet, and they have leased the premises back for 1.8 million pounds a year. So that again, it's a very smart move, because when you have a capital asset sitting in your balance sheet, it doesn't generate any revenue. But if you bring it back into your balance sheet, you can use that money, and at the same time, the rents that you pay can be put against taxable income. So overall, I think that's a good move. And that brings me to an end of this session on Oxford Nanopores. I hope you liked this company. I'm bullish about this company, and I'm going to be following it closely going forward. If you like this video, please put a like out there. And if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe and help us grow this channel and become a member of our community. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now. Until next time.